it's probably impossible not to be influenced by our culture, the larger culture that we're a part of. And modernity, which, some people would say began in the maybe 1600s, was an intensification of an interest in the mind, in reason, in part because Christians had gotten into a lot of not just arguments, but brutal conflicts, Catholics against Protestants and vice versa, in the 1500s and especially in the 1600s, fighting over doctrinal issues, and yet each group feeling that they're right to the death. And that was a wake-up call, I think, for Christians and non-Christians in the West. We better stick to what we can be sure about, and be careful not to argue about things that good Christians can disagree about. And it led Christianity to focus more and more on what can reason discover about the truths in the Bible, and how can we use our reason to do good biblical exegesis. And I think in the process we became increasingly influenced by that kind of an agenda, an agenda that prioritizes the intellect over the heart. There's another set of reasons. That's kind of the historical, but the other set of reasons has to do with the activities of the heart are not as easy to identify and to understand, to articulate. Our emotions, our values, our intuitions are all part of what I think the heart encompasses. And I think there's a conservatism among Christians there. Well, let's just not even go there. We'll let the Bible set the agenda, focus your attention on the Bible, and then let the emotions and those other things, they'll follow automatically. I was taught that as a young Christian, 50 years ago, and I think that's kind of been common over the last 50, 60 years. But there's a vigorous, I would almost say a movement, or at least a tradition, a heart tradition in the Christian traditions, going back into the Bible, but especially people like Augustine and Bernard of Clairvaux, Julian of Norwich, Luther, Calvin, Jonathan Edwards, who emphasized the importance of the hearts, of our hearts, because it's, as Pascal was one of them. He said, we experience God in our hearts, not our minds. That's a very profound insight, I think. We can know facts about God that we need to know in order to understand God and be guided by those truths. Thank God for the Bible and the truths that He's given us in the Bible. But we can't experience God with just our heads. We need our hearts too. And so I've been wanting, over the course of my life, more and more, the Lord has been drawing me into prioritizing the head. Taking seriously the head, good doctrine, the Bible. That's very important to me. But over my lifetime, He's shown me that at the end of the day, God doesn't just want me to be a good student and to know lots of Bible truth, but He wants to have my heart shaped like His heart. And that's more important than knowing Bible facts, but they're related to each other. And that's the challenge, is trying to find the balance there, I think.